Good afternoon, everybody, and happy Tuesday. It is 1:47, first video of the week. Some good information to unpack today in an effort to help us navigate the market this week and going into next week. Let's just jump right into it. Last week on Friday, the job numbers were revised. I'm sure everybody saw that. And the job numbers were revised down by 1 million in 2025. That is the largest annual revision in the last 20 years as I look at my notes. Needless to say, that's not good. So what does that do? The information's there. So this should pave the path for more rate cuts, I would anticipate. 2026 has started off on a positive note based on the numbers that we're receiving. But again, the numbers are not always indicative of the truth. Though we have to take them at face value, it appears 2026 is starting off on the right foot in regards to job numbers. Inflation data, as we know, has improved based on the numbers from last week. So we have to keep our eyes open and our ears open to see the information or understand it as it continues to come to us. One of the Fed members, Barr, was speaking this morning or about an hour ago. I listened to the majority of it. He's not as dovish in regards to rate cuts. He's more on the hawkish side. He sees significant risk. I was reading some of the headlines. Inflation still over 2%. So they want to see inflation come down. I mean, who doesn't want to see inflation come down? So anyways, that's kind of the backdrop to the market. I'm going to jump right into the NASDAQ. That's just to kind of give you a little bit of an understanding of what's happening, how I've been trading this market. I have personally had some good success the last couple of weeks. I always say flexibility is your best ability. So I have I've learned from my mistakes from many years ago. Instead of being stuck in my ways, I shift to what the market is giving me, and I have shifted accordingly, and it's proved pretty good so far. Not great, because no one is perfect at this, but I've definitely had some good success navigating this the last 2 weeks. So here's the NASDAQ, opened up down this morning. You can see from here, this is where it opened this morning, and since has gone green. So it's red to green, which is always a good sign. I don't know if that was short covering this morning. I mean, it could be some stop losses that were triggered. I don't know. I mean, it opened up red. It went back green. We take it for what it's worth. It still has a lot of work to do. I cannot be on green with my money in the long side until this recovers over these averages and gets in this area. The lower low is right there. You definitely don't want to test that, though. Again, I don't predict, but I have a feeling the NASDAQ has a date with the 200 in this area. That is my expectation, and I am invested accordingly. As you can see from the backdrop here, the whole market basically went red to green. The leading index is the NASDAQ today, which is always a good sign. The Russell small cap is right behind it. Moving along here, I'm going to jump into gold. So I sold my gold plays last week. I was very fortunate on AU. I am looking to re-enter gold. I don't have an entry point yet. The one that I've played to success the last 2 times has been AU. This opened up 5% down this morning and found a way to recover 2%. Not a huge recovery, but nonetheless a nice recovery. I'd like to see a hammer candle close. The 5 is the 108. As long as we stay above the 21, I very well might take this on a trade. I would say that this is potentially actionable. This is not financial advice, but rather for educational purposes only. I don't think gold is done. I do think some of these other precious metals are done. I think the one that I have my eye on outside of that is uranium, commodity-wise. Sorry, wrong UUUs. I mentioned this last week. I thought this was really setting up with a real nice cup with handle, but we still have not entered. I gave the trigger to the entry point, which I personally have set. So I'd like to see that entry above, I think it's above here. Sorry, the trigger point's there. So let's see if we can get that. This is one I'm keeping my eye on. Gold, I'm keeping my eye on. Bitcoin, we'll touch on Bitcoin real quick. Bitcoin just cannot do its thing. down to 67,000 or 68,000, even with all the commotion and talk over the weekend regarding legislation, Trump, Blackstone. There was so much crypto talk. Whatever. It's so much. Anyways, going into stocks, because that's kind of what I care about and what I'm trading right now. Well, first, let's look at the 10-year. The 10-year is up today. All right. So what did I lay down last week? What am I in? What am I watching? So I'm still in AAON. And I want to emphasize, everybody should err on a little bit of caution in this market until it gives you confirmation. I don't think you want to just go balls to the wall. Doesn't mean you can't find high conviction names. I'm in this name, hasn't done great. Hasn't done anything. I'm only up like 3%, but this is a name that I have exposure to. I like the heavy building side. So I'm still in this name, and I'm just going to go on the names that I'm still in. On the long side, I'll start off with that first, because the long side is very short and brief. CERS is a very small cap name I laid down last week. I think I'm up now, maybe like 10% on it. A good move today, 7%. I like this as like kind of just like a little bit of a high flyer. Anyways, I said this was breaking on the shelf on the wedge, and then it came through the pivot up 7% today. I don't know if it had any news. Yeah, no news. Just a really good move on the pivot. I think this is more on a technical. So I'm in this. This is a healthcare. It's a medical device name. So this could like boom or bust any day. I'm in it. I think it's gonna hit like $4 or $5. It's kind of why I'm just normal position. Anyway, still playing that. Going on the long side. God, the long side is very short for me. I'm still an IMNM, high conviction name for 2026. I do have a stop loss, but I'm holding on dear life here. You could see the downsloping 5 below the 21, just barely above the 50. So I like this as an investment, hence why I'm still green on this. I still have a profit on this, but not much. I want to say I'm up like 3-4%. I have a stop loss, but it's a little bit wider. I'm still in it, just pointing out the names that I'm in on the long side, and I'm not in a lot of long names because I don't have that much conviction in the market right here. VRT is one that I got into last week. I had to own it. Vertiv. It had that earnings gap, and it truly had a power move off the earnings. And power earnings moves are always going to trigger me to buy a stock if it could hold that move, and it did. I bought this last week on Friday. Nice little move today, 4%. I do think this is actionable. This is an earnings gap. Very, very large strength. You can tell also by the volume. Look at where my cursor's at. That is very strong, and that is definitely, you cannot deny that strength. So I did buy that on the move on Friday on the peel back to the 5. So I'm in Vertiv. That was a new buy last week. Oh man, I think the names are small here. Let me see. I got stopped out of Peabody this morning. I'm still in Visa. I'm just going to go and touch on this. I'm still in this. I bought this strictly in my IRA. I'm probably down like 5% on this. I think if you're looking for something to park in your IRA long term, I just can't help but enjoy like this valuation. So I'm still in that. Still in United in my IRA. I'm still in Google in my IRA. Still in Dutch Bros in my IRA. Bros though, and then I'm just touching on investments here, not so much in trades. Bros had a great earnings relatively good earnings. It was up 25% in pre-market, opened up and then finished red. This stock is not to be traded. This is an investment for me. Anyways, also, okay, I forgot. I bought Corning this morning. If you guys recall, a couple of months ago, I traded this. This is the manufacturer of Gorilla Glass. Also recently signed a contract with Meta. And signed another contract for somebody else. Anyways, their valuation is growing immensely. I like this on a trade. It's actually above the pivot. I think this is actionable today. Again, not financial advice, but rather educational purposes. I think this has a good move, and I think this has a high rate of probability in success. And then one on my watch list is STX. Seagate, I have not bought this, but this is really looking nice. This is starting to look like a flag pattern. This is looking, I mean, if I drew this with my lines, this is truly forming. Let me see if I can do this here for you guys. This is forming. You know what? I'm terrible with doing this on this app. This is why I use my other software to draw. I don't use this. But anyways, I'm not even going to do that. It's a wedge pattern. This is on my watch list if you're interested in that. And then now I'll go to the names that I'm short in. I am short PLTW. As you recall, I used to trade this name on the long side with the dividend per week. I added to my short today. I'm probably even or maybe down 1 or 2%. This is a traditional 100% short. I am short. So let me also explain something to you. I rode these when the trend was up, right? I'm riding this while the trend is down. I want to let you know that also because of these dividends, there's NAV erosion. So shorting these stocks, I don't want to say it's a cheat code because nothing is a guarantee and a given, but these stocks are it's very hard for them to maintain their valuation based on the dividend that it's paying out. So as you can see, it's not at an all-time low. It might be an all-time low. This is I don't want to call this a guarantee, but man, I'm also short AMDW. I started that short on Thursday. So I started it here. I'm up about 5%. So another name correlated to AMD, just with a weekly payer. Again, NAV erosion. So I am short that name. I am still short Rigetti. Up today, a half a point. I think I'm green on this trade. So I am short that name. And, Hood. I have gone short on this as of last week. I sold my shares, I believe, Monday, and then I shorted it on Tuesday. So that might be one of these days, or maybe I shorted it that day. I am up a couple percent on that. So I am short Robinhood now, and I was once very long Robinhood, and I'm short that. That is it. It's short and sweet and simple. One name that I have in my conviction name, which has absolutely been my worst statistical percentage stock down, and this is what happens when you deviate from your rules, is Open. Open reports earnings on Thursday. So I don't know how this is going to go. Real estate is not very good. Rates haven't really come down for mortgages, so I don't know if Open has something up its sleeve that they're going to release that could potentially propel them as a catalyst. Regardless, I mentioned this last year when I traded it a couple times. I said I was going to get into this as a conviction, and I was okay with drawdowns in this stock because I positioned it accordingly, and I am still, as such, okay with that. So that's really all I got. Short and sweet. Keep an eye on those stocks that I gave you. I think there's some good plays out there. And be wary of the market. I would not go too strong into the market right now. I'd let it prove itself to you before you start investing heavily. Sometimes patience works out a lot better. You don't have to trade all the time. You can allow things to come to you. And you don't have to overtrade. Sometimes keeping your cash in money markets, at least for a month or two, and letting everything subside might present great opportunity. And I would say that there's times where you put your foot on the gas, and then there's times where you take your foot off the gas, and times you put your foot on the brake. Maybe now is when you put your foot on the brake. I don't know. I can only say from what I'm doing. Either way, today looks to shape up as a good day overall in the market. And let's see if we could get a bounce in some areas and see if we can get some follow through. All right, I'll be back. Have a great week, guys.